Coal miners.
Yes. There.
Tell Logan I don't think they died.
I don't know. I could research that in the yearbooks, I'm sure.
Hi, my name is Anita Green. I'm the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. James Green of Rockwood. I graduated from Rockwood High School. I was a cheerleader and majored. I represented Roane County in the Miss America contest in 1956. After high school, I attended the University of Miami in Florida. I majored in psychology and art. I also studied in New York at Columbia University. While I was in Florida, I had several achievements: Vice President of Student Government, Poster Girl for Delta Airlines, Homecoming Queen, and many more. I was also Orange Bowl Queen my senior year in college. While I was in New York, I appeared on several television shows. I later married Peter Griffith, and I have 2 children. I currently live in California. Thank you. Katie and Scott.
Huddle up. Come on. Hi, my name is Tom Pemberton. I was born July 6, 1924. I played 4 years of football at this here high school. But you know, I skipped my own graduation to go join the military. 2 Purple Hearts and a lost left arm at the Battle of Okinawa. But you know, I wasn't going to let that stop me. Upon returning home, I played 4 years of football at Tennessee Wesleyan, where I was named All-American. I tried to go to Kentucky to play under Bear Bryant himself. That didn't exactly work out, but Bear, being the nice guy he was, led me to Georgetown, where I continued to get to play football and got my bachelor's degree. I got my master's though from Vanderbilt, which prompted me to come home and teach, but also start my coaching career. I was the head coach here, football team for 13 years, from 1951 to 1964. You know, my brother C.W. and his buddy Mike, they always joked to me about them being the ones to actually win their state championship. But you know what I always said to them? Boys, there's a reason that stadium out there is called Tom Pemberton Stadium. Now, if you will excuse me, I got practice I gotta get back to.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Maurice P. Green, voice of the Tigers, butter pecan ice cream enthusiast, and gold dollar collector extraordinaire. I'd like to thank each of you for coming out for my 94th birthday. You may remember me as announcing the Rockwood High School football games for nearly 6 decades. During that time, I've gotten to know a lot of the young people in our community and have been able to steer them all on the right track. A lot of things have changed during my time in Rockwood, but I've always been a proud citizen of this town. And if there's one word of advice I could offer you, it would be don't drink, don't smoke. Maybe someday if you live to be 94, you'll be as good looking as I am.
You might be surprised to learn that my first job was scooping ice cream right here in Rockwood, Tennessee. Hi, I'm Nancy Ann Mendeparle, and I've come a long way from scooping ice cream. After high school, I went to UT as an Andy Holt Scholar. My freshman year of college, during Christmas break, my mother died of cancer. This was especially hard since my dad left when I was a baby. Later, I was elected as the first female student body president, making history my senior year there. I earned my college degree in 1978 and was named one of the year's top 10 college women by Glamour magazine. As a Rhodes Scholar, I studied at Oxford in 1981. I went on to study law at Harvard and graduated in 1983. As I was working in the Nashville law firm, Governor Ned McWhorter asked me to head up the state's Department of Human Services. I was only 29 years old. In 1994, Time magazine named me one of its top 50 future leaders. Later, I worked with President Bill Clinton as an administrator for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. After that, I was asked to lead President Obama's health care initiative. I became Deputy Chief of Staff for President Obama. I am now a partner at Connaissance Capital, which is a private equity healthcare investment firm. Remember, it all started in Rockwood.
Right here we've got the letter jacket worn by Richard Duke Spradling, the only person to wear 00 at Rockwood High School, I think. game ball from the 1950 Harriman game presented to Kendall Morgan. And that's the actual color. He said it's not faded. The ball was actually kind of a goldish yellow color. This is the first Rockwood green jersey that was ever worn. This is Jim Watts' jersey. I think in 1951 we went from orange and black to green. These are the orange and black letter jackets. This one right here is Johnny Lawson's, one of the greatest players to ever play at Rockwood. This one right here is Kendall Morgan. You know, our colors were orange and black until 1951, I believe. We're here with Leroy Chapman, one of the great running backs in Rockwood history. Leroy played back in the 70s. I got to play a couple of years with him. We were pretty good back in the day, weren't we?
Yeah, we were pretty good back then. Monster defense. Monster defense. Now here, what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about going to Sparta when you forgot your cleats and had your leg about half cut off, and we had to stop by you some new ones, and you had about 5 carries for about 180, 5 touchdowns, had about 6 called back.
Shoot, that wasn't Cofield.
No, we never played Cofield. It was Sparta. We was going to Sparta.
Oh, Sparta.
We had to stop in Cookville and buy you some cleats because you forgot them. You'd had that motorcycle wreck over at Campbell.
Yeah, I remember
had
that.
About 10 stitches in your leg.
Yeah, I thought somebody might have stole my cleats for a souvenir. They had my name on the
There was
side
some of that
of
stuff went on back in our day. If you left your cleats in your locker, they might be cut in half. Shoestrings might be cut on them.
When I first heard the Rockwood 150, I thought it was like the Daytona 500. I was like, they're doing a race? Where are they going to find all this roadway? Thank you all for having me here. I'm so honored to be in my hometown. Thanks to Mr. Metcalf for making all the things happen. And everybody else that was involved in doing this. It's really special. Well, we're going to play some music. I was dreaming when I wrote this. Forgive me if it goes astray. When I woke up this morning, could have sworn it was Judgment Day.
I was a Campbell before I...
every Saturday
And advertise.
Look at Shirley. She's retiring this year. Is she? Yep, she's retiring. Where we go, we're probably gonna stay
It's called Rocky now, but I'm gonna change it to Rockwood.
sit through about 3 minutes of me basically playing 2 chords really hard. And then I pushed my little practice amp over. And you know, it was the most cool thing I had ever done in my entire life. I walked in here today and had kind of like a PTSD about it. Everybody just kind of like...
They haven't let pigs on these streets in the past 5 years. But of course, as soon as old J.C. Wilson becomes mayor, they just gotta let him back in. It's only been a week. You know, in Harriman, they don't even let chickens cross their roads. I ought to run for mayor there.
It held many forms of entertainment, but went through many remodelings. Thank you for visiting.
Very good.
I first came to Rockwood way out in Lynchburg back in 1872. That's right, John. Down all the ruffians and bootleggers trying to stir up trouble around these here mines. And boy, I sure was a detective too. There ain't never been no train robber get through my station, safecracker get into my bank, or no good people killer go without their due punishment. Shoot, official record says I arrested over 1,000 men in my time as Rockwood Marshal, though I count a little closer to 2,000 in my own time. But I ran these Rockwood boys up the jailhouse all the way up until around 1879, about when the Cincinnati Southern Railroad was completed. Well, I guess they seen what all I did around here. They were so mightily appreciative of me that they promoted me from marshal to special officer. I prefer marshal though, rolls off the tongue a little bit better. That's how I stayed up until I retired around 1900. I guess y'all best not ever let the Marshal Eddie catch you on the wrong side of the law.
I once walked the back coal-bearing region of the area and predicted that a city would lie at the base of the mountain. Shortly after the death of my first wife, I decided to leave the plantation and move to Arkansas. On the way, I met a lovely new lady who carried a small population of slaves who had tended to needs. Slaves also worked in the local pig iron mill, a huge economic power of the area. So today's RHS came to the area.
Good.
All my troops' socks came out red, so we knew that there was iron somewhere in the creek. After the war, I returned to Northern Indian Iron Company. We hired people like McCoy and many others to work for us. When W.O. Rockwood was elected president,
I'm glad you.
1868, steamer came to the river landing, towing a barge. I was put in charge of son for the sawmill by Jerry Wilder himself, right there, whom I had met once before during the Civil War. The town should be named from. I originally felt Wilder was a perfect name for our town. This was the first official paper to be headed at Rockwood. Thus, that is how our town received its name.
You guys are doing good. Pretty nervous.
Well, Harry T. Byrne, you know, he was the deciding vote that decided to give women the right to vote. I didn't know if that was up there or not. And I was telling them about the Whites Creek marker there. The Boy Scouts are in the process of refurbishing that, making it look nice. And they hadn't got it all done yet, but I'm sure they will. No, Harry T. Byrne, he was also the president of the First National Bank.
you know, Harriman, they didn't let chickens cross their roads.
You're doing good.
I'll run for mayor there.
This is Mary's.
That's cool.
If they had an R on them, that meant they were issued for Rockwood. If they had a W, they were issued at the coal mine. If they had a C on them, they were issued south of the river. They mined the iron, most of the iron ore south of the river.
The way you came.
Sorry, I wish I.
We love you. Here, do what you must.
Turn right.
Our famous chili cheeseburger, famous since we first opened in 1964.
Well, I recommend our hot dog. It was voted best hot dog in Rowe County.
Let me talk to you for just a second. We'll get back. What are you doing?
I'm getting a 50-cent hot dog.
I'm not down there. We'll show this together. She's trying to come.
Commission like a 150 poster or something.
Yeah, ice cream eating. St. Bernard.
Sneak them into school. Just tell the law. But I've always been a proud citizen of Rockwood, Tennessee.
Yes, it was. He bought it.
Fire tower's right up here now.
Yeah.
Huh. It's pretty cool.
Now, who knows that?
I like this old picture.
They raised her, niece and nephew, and, they would be. So we'd love for you to know.
I grew up in Kings City here.
That was really bright. Yeah. That bomb bill out there. Trying to get him some pictures. She's gonna get us a little advertisement.